You might be wondering how to keep straight a long list of landmark Supreme Court judgments and exactly which articles they changed for your UPSC answers. And by the end of this video, you will be completely clear about these cases and how to use them in an exam answer. First, a quick map. We will group these judgments by themes like equality and dignity, freedom of expression, religious practice, criminal law, and institutional rules, so you can visualize where each case fits in the Constitution. Think of the Constitution as a house with rooms labeled Article 14, 15, 19, and 21, and each case either opens a door, removes a lock, or rearranges the furniture. This mental image will make recall much easier during mains. We start with the Sabrimala case. Indian Young Lawyers Association v. State of Kerala 2018, where the court struck down the rule barring women aged 10 to 50 from entry, holding it violative of Articles 14, 21, and 25, and emphasizing gender equality over customary exclusions. The impact was immediate. Protests, reference to a larger bench, and an important exam angle. You must link the judgment to how fundamental rights can limit religious practices in your answers. Joseph Shine v. Union of India 2018 decriminalized adultery by striking down Section 497 IPC, reasoning that criminal law cannot enforce patriarchal notions and that Articles 14, 15, and 21 protect individual dignity and equality. For exams, use Joseph Shine to show how the court reads personal liberty and gender equality together when arguing against criminalization of consensual adult conduct. Navteej Singh Johar 2018 read down Section 377 for consensual adult homosexual acts, invoking Articles 14, 15, 19, and 21 to protect dignity, privacy, and expressive autonomy of LGBT persons. Remember this case as the pivot from criminal stigma to constitutional dignity for sexual minorities, and cite it when answering questions on rights of marginalized groups. Main Siddiq v. Mahant Suresh Das 2019 settled the Ayodhya dispute by awarding the disputed land to Ram Lalla and directing a trust for temple construction, while granting alternate land to the Sunni Waqf Board, resolving complex title and faith claims. In Answers on Religious Disputes and Remedies, use Siddiq to explain how the court balances historical evidence, civil law remedies, and public interest. Anuradha Bhasin v. Union of India 2020 held that internet access attracts Article 19 protections and that indefinite shutdowns must meet proportionality and legal standards under the suspension rules. This judgment is crucial for questions on digital rights, governance, and emergency powers. Always mention proportionality and temporary necessity. Rambabu Singh Thakur vs. Sunil Arora 2020 targeted criminalization of politics by directing parties to disclose criminal antecedents of candidates and justify selections, increasing transparency and accountability. Use this case in governance answers to show judicial nudges for electoral reform and how transparency can be used as an institutional check. Internet and Mobile Association of India vs. RBI 2020 struck down the RBI circular banning banks from servicing crypto exchanges, applying proportionality and Article 19(1)(g) to protect trade and innovation. For policy answers on fintech, cite this case to argue for regulation rather than blanket prohibition. Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary vs. Union of India 2022 upheld core PMLA provisions and the reversed burden for bail in money laundering cases, accepting special enforcement needs while noting limits on police powers of the ED. Use this when discussing the balance between civil liberties and specialized anti-money laundering regimes in exam essays. Janit Abhiyan versus Union of India 2022 upheld the EWS quota under the 103rd Amendment, accepting economic criteria as a valid basis for carve-outs in reservation policy. This case is important for public policy answers on affirmative action and constitutional limits on reservation architecture. Recent decisions include the Supreme Court upholding abrogation of Article 370 in 2023, refusal to legalize same-sex marriage in Supriya Chakrabarti 2023, leaving legislative remedy to Parliament, and Vivek Narayan Sharma 2023, upholding demonetization as a valid exercise of power. Each of these shows different institutional roles: judiciary as interpreter, legislature as policymaker. So, in answers, highlight separation of powers and remedial paths. Quick recap. Group cases by theme. Link each to the controlling articles and tests like proportionality or dignity. And always state the practical impact before drawing a normative conclusion in your answer. This concept is very important for your exams because questions often ask for doctrinal basis plus contemporary impact, and you will score higher if you tie judgments to articles and policy consequences. So practice one paragraph, fact plus issue plus ratio summaries for each case. Use the Constitutional House image when revising, and you will recall these judgments quickly under mains pressure. If you want a ready checklist of these landmark cases mapped to articles and a sample 15-mark answer, continue learning with EduRev, where this video is part of a curated UPSC law series. Keep studying and stay confident.